Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I wanted to go through the Plague Creeper skill set because we have the skills from the Vietnam server. It won't be going live until 4.5 days for us, but because of that we can go through them and get an idea of what type of heroes are going to do well there, and also what rewards we can expect from like defeating the Plague Creeper. Okay, so I'm going to go through the screenshots and pop them up. So first of all, we have the Plague Creeper. He's a tank class hero, magic damage with a range of 20. A towering reptilian terror emitting toxic gas capable of splitting multiple times. And the splitting is really what kind of determines this boss, its unique characteristic, and why the heroes you want to bring here are probably going to be AoE damage related heroes to destroy all of the splits. So Super Mud Bomb's ultimate shakes his body, launching a total of 8 mud bombs. Each mud bomb deals 110% attack damage to a random target and all adjacent enemies. So a bit of a damage skill with this first one. Not insane like damage output, but still you're going to want to have probably at least one healer in your team, but then that should be enough. And then skill 1, Toxic Emanation, spews a noxious gas across the battlefield, dealing 60% attack damage per second to all enemies. The gas lasts up to 5 seconds. So in total 5 times 60% is going to be 300% attack damage each time you cast a skill to all of your team. So again, if you have a healer to continuously sustain your team, then that will counteract the damage from this skill and also the ultimate. Okay, Intermittent Split splits into 3 large plague rods whenever the Plague Creeper loses HP equal to 20,000% of its initial attack. When large plague rods are defeated, each one will split into 2 medium plague rods. When these medium plague rods are defeated, each will further split into 2 small plague rods. The total HP of the plague rods resulting from splitting is equal to 15,000% of the Plague Creeper's initial attack, and they will transfer damage received back to the Plague Creeper. Once all plague rods are defeated, they will merge back into Plague Creeper, which will remain weakened for 8 seconds, during which its damage taken is increased by 20%. After each merge, the HP required to trigger the next split and the total HP of the plague rods produced increased by 150%. So it's like a typical slime type boss. You deal enough damage to it, it splits up and it keeps splitting up until getting to the small plague rods. And because they're going to now be so many different individual plague rods on the field, if you have AoE damage like Iron, Carolina, Prissa, those are probably going to be the heroes you want to run, even Taylene, because that is not only going to deal good damage to the boss himself, like Carolina, Prissa deal good damage even just to the boss, but it's also going to deal with the other plague rods which are being spawned, and because you get that bonus damage dealt to the boss after you kill all the plague rods. And that is the advantage of trying to kill all of them. And also the Plague Creeper himself is going to be taking the damage that you deal to all of his individual plague rod summons, and so AoE damage is going to be the way to go. So definitely I think if you have Taylene built, probably the top performing team is going to be involving Taylene. If you don't have Taylene like me, it's probably going to be Carolina, Prissa type teams with like the Wilder faction buff tile, if we're able to use that faction tile, and just having one healer to sustain up your team. But let's look at the final skill, the Plague Creeper. So Plague Rot Replication, plague rots that split from the Plague Creeper can use various skills to attack enemies, but the number of available skills decrease with each split. Okay, so they'll have more skills on the large split, but when they go down to the small split, they'll have the least number of skills. So patrols along a fixed path, leaving behind a trail of poisonous sludge for some damage. Launches 2 sludge balls at random targets, causes an explosion upon defeat, creating a sludge pool that continuously damage enemies. That seems like the most powerful skill probably for the large plague rots. But again, I think if you have even one healer like a Smokey or even maybe Mikola, it should be enough for your team. And if need be, you could also run Coco for more damage reduction, but hopefully just one healer would be enough. So now looking at this compilation of the different ranking rewards, and this was shared by Chippy AFK, and they have a Telegram chat if you want to join them, t.me/@ChippyAFK. It's at the bottom of this screenshot. Okay, so here are going to be the rewards. So for District Victory, depending on how many days you clear it in, you're going to get a variety of rewards. Now really, because if it's like other Primal Lords, each time you attack the boss, you will gain, for example, seasonal essence and training manuals for each attacks you do per day. And so actually, it's usually a better thing when it takes longer for you to defeat the Primal Lord. And when you look at the different clear rewards, like within 8 days, the only difference between within 8 days and within 12 days is you get 400 less diamonds by waiting for within 12 days, but then you're going to get a lot of season essence and manuals. So honestly, it's actually better for you to take longer to clear it. You get more rewards in total, and the other ones are the same. The Dura Trials tokens, temporal essence, invite letters are going to be 10 of each. And for the ranking rewards, the top 50 will be in the Eternal Inscription among your district, and the highest rewards will go to the top 20, of course, with the Temporal Essence, or the Twilight Essence of 20. And even if you're in the top 500, you're going to get 4 Twilight Essences, and also that, the frame, which is really cool. So, that is going to be most of the information. If we look down here, we also have the recommended page for the AoE damage, and Scarlita is recommended here, Diurnal, Talene. Yeah, I mean, Diurnal theoretically could be good. He does well when there are a lot of enemies, but typically Talene is really the better PvE boss killer, or like, or better for the PvE content. Diurnal is like a PvP hero. So I'm expecting Talene to be the best damage dealer. Scarlita might not be bad. Iron is good just because he immobilizes enemies, he groups them up, and like he's gonna synergize well with your other damage dealers, because he also, I believe, causes his targets to take bonus magical damage. Pretty sure that was the case, right? With one of his abilities, and so then Carolina Persa can hit harder. They're also having Atlanta recommended here. I really doubt that she's going to be such a strong hero for this, and usually when they have the recommendations, it's not always that these are the optimal choices, it's just an idea to follow. Maybe Iron won't even be the best, because Iron's damage output himself, even in a team with multiple enemies, usually is not that high, but he might just be the best suited and a good tank for the boss as well. And they say here the boss does not have very strong damage, so if there's a good support in the team, the whole fight goes without losses. The boss himself, after receiving a certain amount of damage, is periodically divided into smaller slugs, so we need AoE damage. Yeah, definitely going to be AoE damage. Lily May also, I think, is going to be really good. Lily May, Elsa, I think these are going to be 2 great damage dealer options to run. Odie, maybe not, because Odie is purely single target damage. So that is pretty much it for the Primal Lord, Plague Creeper. What you can expect. And just looking again like through my heroes, I think Arden most likely not. So Arden and Iron, they do well in like PvP content because they have the entangling roots, but in terms of raw damage, Carolina Persa are the hard-hitting raw damage dealers. Iron maybe as a tank, and also like we said, I think he increases the damage that is taken by, doesn't he have some ability that increases the damage taken by, yeah, Iron reduces an extra 15% magic defense at a Supreme Plus if they're immobilized. So that is like one thing to consider. But yeah, Persa, Carolina I think are going to be great. Talene of course will be amazing. Scarlita might be good. Lily May will be really good. And as for a healer, probably Mikola would be the best if you have her. Otherwise Smokey would be a fine option as well. So that's probably what you can expect going into this boss. But as soon as it comes out, or we have more information, I'll let you guys know on what teams are actually the top performing. But you guys can let me know in the comment section what you think about the Plague Creeper. It is kind of interesting because we're getting, I mean, I think even Lone Gaze we got pretty early into the starter season, so I think that's kind of the same thing. And then the next Primal Lord will be coming out later, which is the Shell Brute, which we also have found on the map, but yeah, it's going to be quite a few days before we are able to challenge that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. And until the next video, everyone, peace out for now.